What if SpongeBob's happy little pineapple wasn't just a cartoon home, but a grave marker for a world destroyed above? For decades, fans joked that Bikini Bottom sat under Bikini Atoll, the real site of US nuclear tests. But recently, a shocking confirmation changed everything. SpongeBob's world isn't just silly nonsense. It's a post-apocalyptic nightmare, born from mushroom clouds and radioactive oceans. The name Bikini wasn't chosen randomly. It comes from Bikini Atoll, a chain of islands in the Pacific where, between 1946 and 1958, the US detonated 67 nuclear weapons. Explosions so massive, they shook the entire world and changed the ocean forever. One bomb, codenamed Bravo, was over 1,000 times stronger than Hiroshima. Its fallout poisoned the air, the water, and even the people forced to leave their homes. The land became unlivable. For humans at least. And here's where the theory begins. Fans long suspected that Bikini Bottom lies directly beneath Bikini Atoll. That radiation didn't vanish, it seeped into the sea, mutating fish, sponges, crabs, until they weren't just animals anymore. They were survivors of mankind's last war. At first, it sounded like a creepy fan joke. But then came confirmation. Mr. Lawrence, SpongeBob writer and voice of Plankton, admitted in an interview, Bikini Bottom is beneath Bikini Atoll. And worse, the world above is gone. Wiped out. If that's true, then SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and the gang aren't just goofy sea creatures. They're the result of humanity's biggest mistake. Mutants, born in silence beneath waves poisoned by war. Think about it. A sponge who flips burgers. A crab obsessed with money, raising a whale as a daughter. A plankton running a fast food empire. None of it makes sense. Unless radiation twisted nature's laws into something unrecognizable. And Sandy Cheeks? The most mysterious of all? A land squirrel who lives underwater, wearing a full protective suit. She's a scientist, a fighter, a stranger in a toxic world. Could she be a direct reference to nuclear test animals? Squirrels exposed to radiation in Bikini Atoll? Her name even carries the weight of it, Sandy. A dark nod to the sand blasted into the sky during nuclear detonations. What if she isn't just quirky, but a survivor of experiments humanity would rather forget? Even the explosions in SpongeBob hint at it. Those mushroom-shaped bursts, filling the screen with smoke and fire. They mirror real test footage. Operation Crossroads. The Baker test. Actual underwater nuclear detonations. Rock Bottom, the creepiest place in the SpongeBob universe. Darker, stranger, stuck in time. Fans believe it's not just a town, but the remains of a nuclear impact crater. A scar left behind by the blasts. Notice the old technology, the outdated buildings. It feels frozen in another era, like the 1940s itself, the exact time those bombs fell. Maybe Rock Bottom is history, preserved in radiation. And what about the prices at the Krusty Krab? Ever notice how cheap everything is? Burgers for pennies, fries for cents. It feels like a restaurant frozen in the 1950s. Maybe because, in Bikini Bottom, time stopped the moment the bombs fell. At first, actors denied it. Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, laughed it off. Roger Bumpass, Squidward's voice, dismissed the theory. To them, it was just a silly kid's cartoon. But then came the confirmation no one expected. Mr. Lawrence, Plankton himself, admitted the truth. He confirmed Bikini Bottom is the result of Bikini Atoll nuclear testing. And then he dropped the darkest line of all, the world upstairs is gone. If that's true, then humanity is already extinct in SpongeBob's universe. The cheerful cartoon we grew up with is set in a graveyard, where only sea mutants survive the fallout. Even Sandy's presence makes more sense now. A lone land creature sent below to study the effects. Her entire storyline, science experiments, protective suits, strange missions, feels like a cover for something darker. Fans argue about it constantly. Some say it ruins childhood memories. Others say it makes the show even more fascinating, a comedy layered over silent horror. And the more you look, the more you see it. Explosions shaped like mushroom clouds. Strange mutations passed off as comedy. Silent references to a world that no longer exists. Even the show's strangest moments, underwater fire, electricity sparking in silence, could all be explained by radiation mutating the very laws of physics. And then there's Rock Bottom again. Its locals are stranger, more twisted than those in Bikini Bottom. What if that's because they were hit hardest by radiation? The true mutants of the deep? In fact, scientists confirm the scars are still there. Craters blown into the ocean floor remain hollow and lifeless. Could SpongeBob's world actually live in those scars? And if SpongeBob's world is the last one standing, then his cheerful laugh isn't just goofy. It's the sound of survival. The sound of life after the end of everything. The irony? A children's cartoon accidentally became the greatest post-apocalyptic story ever told. And most of us never realized we were watching the end of the world. Imagine it, the human world wiped out. Replaced by sea life that evolved too quickly, mutated into parodies of people. A sponge as a fry cook. A crab as a greedy businessman. A squid as an artist doomed to misery. And maybe that's why SpongeBob feels so strange. Because deep down, we recognize it. We recognize the shadows of the world destroyed, hidden inside a cartoon smile. But here's the darkest part. Mr. Lawrence said, the whole world is dead except for Bikini Bottom. What if that wasn't a joke? What if, canonically, SpongeBob is all that remains of Earth? Think about every crossover, every glimpse of humans in the series. Maybe they aren't alive anymore. Maybe they're memories. Or hallucinations left behind by the ocean itself. Even Patchy the Pirate, a fan-favorite human character, might not be real. He could be the last survivor, or a ghost of the old world, telling SpongeBob's story. And so the theory isn't just about SpongeBob. It's about us. About how stories we laugh at might carry shadows of history too dark to face directly. The real Bikini Atoll still glows with radiation. The land is empty. The people are gone. It's a scar humanity can't erase. And beneath it, SpongeBob's laughter echoes like a cruel reminder. And maybe that's why SpongeBob endures. Because his world is built on something real. Something terrifying. Something we're not supposed to think about when we hear him sing about bubbles and jellyfish. Cartoons hide truths in plain sight. Sometimes silly. Sometimes dark. And sometimes, like SpongeBob, they hide an apocalypse beneath the pineapple house. The truth is chilling. Bikini Bottom isn't just a cartoon city. It's the final chapter of Earth. And SpongeBob's laughter is the sound of life in a world we left behind.